Hello, it's Harnas here, and welcome back to Dreadnaught Nautical Domination. Let's see who we have today. We already saw Requiem by Matt, so a very powerful broadsider, all cram weapons, and on the other side we have Post-Pre-Dreadnaught by Quert26. And this is yet another APS entry. So we've got 5 turrets, so maximum allowed number, and each has got 4 barrels, 4 APS systems. And in addition to that, there's a simple weapon casamate construction here. I think it's using legitimate steam propulsion. And okay, it looks like it also has a hangar here, and I think this is a plane catapult. Overall, I like the shape of the ship, and the layout of this turret in front. It's quite interesting, quite nice. I like it. It looks unique, at least to me, but I think it can be quite practical. We've got the bridge here as well. Some rangefinders. Yeah, overall quite nice. Okay, but is its firepower also good? Let's see. Let's start the match. Okay, so the APS ship, of course, shoots first, and I think armor piercing or sabot rounds arrive to the target, and they do no damage, but in return, oh no, this was like an 8% points salvo from Requiem. Yeah, okay, it looks like it hit the rear section somewhere, and yeah, one of the guns have been totally demolished, erased, and this salvo just right under the superstructure. Devastating effect. And we already see the steam is leaking from the ship, which is not a great sign. Looks like the fusing on those shells was pretty good, and as I said that, actually there was a couple of over penetrations, but whatever hit the hull itself, it seemed to be doing quite decent damage. Okay, but only 3 turrets remaining. But okay, I forgot about vertically downward facing torpedo system. So we also have torpedoes which are helping out with the damage. And yeah, it definitely needs some help, because with the guns alone, it doesn't really seem that the damage really sticks. The damage is really minimal. And okay, we've got a good salvo, and at least those torpedoes did something. Like maybe 0.5%, but nevertheless it was something. Okay, looks like the shells are trying to penetrate, but it's difficult. It's really difficult. These are multiple layers of armor, and maybe the bow is a little bit softer. I think it's just wood, but wood is also cheap, so it's quite easy to repair it. Requiem is just going forward like a phalanx, slowly but surely, and delivering those jabs from those cram cannons. So both turret and casamate ones. Yeah, it's really a lot of damage. Looks like the Post-Pre-Dreadnaught is dead in the water and only's got one turret left. And probably those torpedoes, or maybe not. Yeah, I think these should be still active, maybe they are. And these are some vicious strikes. Yeah, the torpedoes are still okay. So another salvo has been launched, and these are going to hit quite from below, so might surprise Requiem, I don't know. There are some systems here that are definitely extra protected, so who knows, maybe something can help here. And we saw a little bit of cram components just falling off, so who knows, maybe that's there was some critical hit. And just take a look at that. Nice, I think it managed to penetrate, and I'm not sure if there might be some ammo store nearby. I didn't see it, but I think that there's something like that in the back. Ammo is still there, and fuel as well. Maybe not a lot of fuel, perhaps a couple of fuel cells have been fuel tanks, I should say, have been clipped. I'm not sure about that. And I can see another ramming. Yeah, it can be a little bit of a problem for a forward broadsider like Requiem, because you cannot really reverse. It's not legal in the tournament. So you sort of rely on the enemy to get away and try to, you know, make some distance, but if it counts, like in case of the Dreadnought, it cannot, because the engines are damaged. Then you end up in this awkward situation, and then you just run, and it's not an optimal use of your weapons. Because at least here the turrets, they can rotate to some degree, but not a lot. And casamates, they have very narrow field of fire. And of course those torpedoes, they don't care, they just, you know, can attack from all positions, and that they might be able to find some kind of weak spot, who knows. And this turret has a pretty bad firing arc, but it might just come into range, into motion very soon. Simple weapons are quite silent. Okay, and the turret actually opened up, but no real effect. The torpedoes seem to be doing the majority of the damage. But Requiem still has some materials to repair it. Why the Dreadnought has nothing more left. Okay, and I think it's despawning. Sometimes the percentage points shown aren't really very accurate. I think that those sub-objects didn't really count. Okay, so that's round number 1. Let's go straight into round number 2. So let's maybe see closer up what kind of damage is actually being done, but no, it doesn't seem that those weapons are really doing much. Just maybe not even a block at a time. Depends what's hit, but if there's any kind of a backing just behind those beams, it's difficult to remove anything. And it seems like Requiem is really tanky from the front, which of course makes sense. And yeah, some mimics are removed, but nothing really important. And it's also interesting how many shells are actually missing. You would think that it's not possible, but at this range, with this velocity, but yeah, something can still miss. And torpedoes, as always, they are doing the most of the damage, which is quickly repaired. This is just a wooden bow. Very thick wooden bow, but still only a wooden bow. And yeah, that was a very good salvo, I think. It looks like the Dreadnought is able to position itself quite well for this kind of a kite, which should be a strength for an APS-based ship. You know, being able to create this distance and use the velocity of its guns against the slower crams. But I think the problem is that it's just not enough space to make a difference. Those crams still hit pretty well, and I would say that even from up close, Requiem had much more trouble actually landing the shots than from this distance. So yeah, not enough space. And yes, lack of propulsion again, lack of steering, but at least guns are still open, they can still open fire, and the torpedoes. Let's see. Okay, this is a nice chain of torpedoes. Let's see. Okay, they are actually hitting quite high, and they managed to dig relatively deeply. The Dreadnought is still able to somewhat repair back the damage, but it's just lost another turret. So only 3 turrets shooting, simple weapons, and the torpedoes. I think this round is a bit better for the Dreadnought. It's still 93% after 3 minutes. It's holding decently, but still Requiem has got all this material and able to repair back. looks like the Requiem is now going to the melee mode, really close to its opponent, who is of course immobile. And another turret pretty much done. Heavy blows, and we are going to see a little bit of ram. I think that very tip of the bow is actually rubber, just to accommodate, yeah, it's just to accommodate this situation, so it's there's not a lot of self-damage. Good thing is that the collisions they are not producing so much lag as they used to be, so it's much easier now on the game. Maybe the side armor of these turrets is going to be exposed, and maybe these guns would be able to do something. But no, ricochet, okay. Okay, it was able to clip some barrels, at least this. And looks like the Requiem is going for another approach. So at least in this portion of the battle, the Dreadnought is the one doing all the damage. But something tells me it's not going to be enough. Torpedoes, not sure if they are still operating. Yeah, it's out of ammo almost, so I think this is just the magazine. The clips are holding some ammunition, and that's it. And of course those simple guns on the other side. But other than that, the ship is pretty much out of ammo already. And out of material as well. And bang, another turret gone completely. So it seems like it's another walk in the park for Requiem. Something tells me that this design is going to be able to really do a lot in this tournament. It's showing a lot of potential, good firepower and good tankiness, and you know, relatively dodgy in the approach, so can be problematic even for more powerful opponents. Okay, some extra hits, and we have another collision, another push. Also, we can see that Requiem is significantly wider than its opponent. Yeah, these close-up shots, they can be quite tricky. And finally, the forward gun is able to respond. and a brutal riposte. I think that one of the turrets have managed to make its way back into the resource pool for a quartz ship, and some minor repairs have started actually. Let's see here. Yeah, and the Requiem is actually out of fuel, so it's just floating here, but still has got some firing angles here, so I think it should be able to finish up the job. That's not so much left of the Dreadnought. Okay, red hit, and another cannon. Yes, and it looks like this turret have been sniped. And a swarm of bots is trying to patch up the ship, but I think it's too late. Too late for that. Looks like the recoil has been actually helpful for the Requiem to go a little bit back, so it can bring to bear also the Casamate guns. So it should be able to finish the job quicker. Casamates again, and actually we are out of time, so by some miracle Dreadnought was able to survive this round. Okay, condolences to Quert. This was really interesting ship, but I think that Requiem just had too much assets in its hand. So congrats for that, Matt. And all of you, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next episode.